Okay, so we have a cutscene. Let's just get into it, I think.
Toriko.
Can I pet him?
Ateye Tanakyan, Agui Magak, Ateye Tu, Ahinoro Kuinozi, Agati Go Mau.
Toriko.
Okay. Let go. Let go.
Isa.
Forget. I wanted to really try and talk this time because last week I felt like I did a bad job. So I wanted to start with Game of Thrones. A lot of people don't like this season, the last season. Oh yeah, I remember you go on his tail. I think it makes sense that people don't like the show because it's become a lot different than it used to be. The reason why I like the show, and I feel like most people like it, is for I don't know, I really enjoyed learning about the world because it felt like it was so well thought out. So in the first season, you learn a lot about the Starks and the Lannisters and the Baratheons, and then in the second season they introduce like new characters and you learn about them. I think like they introduced Stannis, or the Robert's brothers, because he dies in the first season. And then you learn about like all the history, like with Jaime and the Mad King, and they're always introducing new stuff. I don't remember this part. Oh, it's the bad guys.
Akari Etizi, Oisonichi, Ai Oroi, O Nozi, Awisi.
So, for me, there's like an obvious problem with a story that's told that way, which is if you eventually have to wrap things up, you have to stop introducing new characters. So, like the past 2 seasons, we haven't learned anything new really about the world or the characters. We already knew Jon Snow was Lyanna and Rhaegar's son. So they've introduced so much stuff in the first 6 seasons that they just are trying it the best they can to wrap everything up. And that's just not interesting. Everything feels like inevitable that the first 6 seasons have been leading to. I feel like I don't think making each season 10 episodes long would really solve too much, but I think it would help the audience just come to terms like gradually with like the show ending instead of it just happening so abruptly like it is now. I think it would have made a lot of sense to just delay the release of the 6th season longer and just add the first 3 episodes of this season to last season. I think the big problem is that they're wrapping up. Sorry. They have to wrap up 2 major storylines. They have to in 6 episodes. So the first 3 are for the Night King, and the last 3 are for the Cersei and Daenerys and the whole Game of Thrones arc. Uh-oh, they're coming after me. So wouldn't it have made sense to wrap up the Night King story? Where do I go? Where do I go? No. They're not supposed to take me, right? I'm supposed to jump. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. That's not it. Wouldn't it have made more sense to wrap up the Night King story in the 7th season and then the Game of Thrones story in the 8th season? And then people, at the end of the 7th season, people wouldn't be so disappointed. Because I kind of felt that way too. Like, disappointed with how the Night King story ended so quickly. What the heck do I do here? Alright. I'm sorry. I think I just come back to Trico and then he eats them or something. Shouldn't I have to find my mirror first? There's definitely nothing here. Juke him. Juke him. Okay, here we go. Trico, help me. Trico, wake up. Yay.
Arthurius knew for Nezi, or to Oroi, or to Koi.
wanted to say some stuff I liked about the last episode, because that's all I can really remember. The second to last episode aired on Sunday. I liked Arya and the Hound. Oh, he can't fit. Get stuck. You're gonna get stuck. Shove. I like how they put Arya and the Hound together, and it happened. It made sense, and it happened organically. Like, they both wanted to kill. Arya wants to kill Cersei, and the Hound wants to kill the Mountain, so they kind of go together. I gotta shove him. Oh boy, why isn't this working? And I like how the Hound kind of the last time they're together, the Hound just tells Arya, like, you don't want to be like me. Because I guess he sees that when Daenerys is destroying the town, that if they keep going, they'll die. So he's like, if you keep going with me, Arya, you'll become like me, and we'll all die. And he doesn't want that to happen. So I think they wrap that up in a nice way. It really is another thing to play and talk at the same time, because I was talking about this on Tuesday. When I drive home from work, I try to talk, and it was a lot easier, but hopefully just with practice I get better. I think eventually you just stop paying attention to the game, and you focus more on talking. Talking takes up a lot of my brain power, so it's hard for me to talk and do other things. I can talk about the game easier because it's more connected, like with my thoughts and what I'm looking at, which is interesting. Like I could say, where do I go now? And that just comes naturally, and I just say it. But talking about Game of Thrones is hard, because I'm not doing anything Game of Thrones related. I need my shield, I think. Am I supposed to go back? I thought it was really cool how they shot the sack of King's Landing from the perspective of the townspeople, instead of just like showing shots of Daenerys shooting fire and thinking like, oh, isn't that cool, dragon shooting fire? Like, it's not super interesting. So they decided to show this perspective of the people. and Arya trying to escape, which I thought was a really cool idea, and I don't think they've ever shown anything like that. Although I can't remember any civilians being involved in a fight, except for maybe the Dothraki in the first season. They like pillage a city. Oh, it's got to be up here somewhere. Up here, duh. Okay, jump, grab. So I thought that was really cool. I liked, there was a scene between Tyrion and Jaime that I liked. Don't remember much about it, but he was just like, you're the only person who really cared about me, and I don't know, I liked it. Ooh. I think it made sense for Daenerys to become the Mad Queen. I like that idea. I think it actually would have been a good idea for like the last scene of the show to just have Daenerys on the Iron Throne, just with like ashes falling around her. But I don't think they're gonna do that. I think she'll probably die in the next episode. Okay. Man, I'm still bad at this. I have more to talk about with Game of Thrones. Alright. I can't give up. See you tomorrow.